All right, everybody, it's time. We have got to dive into Joann's filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy today. We are going to be getting into what we know right now, how this will affect us as customers of Joann's, and we'll be chit-chatting. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Jen with Sewing Report Live, and every week we dive into the latest happening in the sewing and crafting space. Normally we do Sunday nights, and I know we just did a show about 24 hours ago, but then this news broke overnight, and I thought we got to do an emergency broadcast because this is fairly big news. So, before we get into things, I do have a few kind of guidance rules for participating in the chat, or if you're watching on the replay. If you are participating, I just ask that you be kind, civil, no links, no self-promotion, and no politics. This is a politics-free zone here. I want everyone to feel welcome. And we are going to be getting into everything. And first, I do want to give a shout out to today's live stream sponsor. As usual, it's the Sewing Report Etsy shop. This is the sponsor for all of the streams here because we are independent media and I support myself here. So I personally curate and sell fabric and sewing supplies and a few handmade items as well. So this is just one way you can support the channel if you enjoy independent media and want to see non-sponsored, completely unbiased commentary and news coverage here at Sewing Report Live. So there are a few ways that you can, and here's the thing, I really appreciate everyone tuning in every week and whenever I do live streams, and obviously this is independent media, and I did put in the chat here a few ways you can support the channel if this is something you enjoy and find value in. Obviously you can like and subscribe to Sewing Report Live. That always helps. There is a YouTube algorithm, so the more people engage with the channel, the more that tells YouTube that the content is high quality, and they will push my videos and live streams out to more people. Another thing you can do is you can, in the chat, you can send super chats and super stickers. So you can actually attach a monetary donation with your chats. You can also shop at the Sewing Report. So if you would like to, again, directly support the channel, you can go to sewingreport.etsy.com. Another way you can support the channel is through shopping some of the affiliate and partner links I do have in the description box here. While they are not a sponsor, I am a Sew Tights affiliate. I sell Sew Tights products myself in the shop, but there are some items that you can get only at sewtights.com. And you can also get 15% off of your first order by using coupon code SEWINGREPORT. So welcome everyone who is here. I greatly appreciate it. I know, and here's the thing. I finished up the show and then I was cutting clips from the live stream, and I got word that Joann's had filed for the bankruptcy. It was like midnight. So they obviously wanted this to drop overnight. Since then, the story has been picked up everywhere. So a lot of even more corporate news outlets that normally don't report on Joann's are covering this because it is such a big story. But again, we've been here's the thing. I've been sharing what we know for months now. So we have been way ahead of the mainstream media here. And I'm very, very proud of that. And this is all thanks to you, the viewers. And yes, we've been talking about this. Obviously, there's been a lot of rumors and then just financial struggles that the company's been going through here. Okay, so I want to go through a few articles here. So I think this is probably the best article that I have found, just kind of summing everything up. So this is from Fast Company. Are Joann stores closing? Bankruptcy and stock delisting come for the fabrics giant. The fabric and sewing chain, which dates back to 1943, says it will continue to operate normally after filing for Chapter 11. So this is an article by Michael Grothos, I believe. Joann Inc., the owner of the Joann chain of sewing and fabric stores, is filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The company has announced the move comes after the chain has struggled with declining sales in recent years. As a result of its changing financial situation, Joann stock will also be delisted on the NASDAQ. So this will no longer be a publicly traded company. And this is not the first time this company went from public to private. It was public for a while, then it got delisted, and then it went public again in 2021, and the stock has just been declining over the past few months. The company was founded in Cleveland in 1943 and currently has 829 stores located in 49 states. The good news for both customers and employees is that it doesn't appear that any JOANN locations will immediately close as part of the bankruptcy procedures. The financial restructuring contemplated by the TSA, Transaction Support Agreement, will be implemented through a prepackaged court-supervised process in which JOANN will continue to operate in the ordinary course of business. The company's press release states, JOANN stores and the joann.com website will remain open and continue operating as normal, and customers, vendors, landlords, and other trade creditors will not see any disruption in services. Scott Sekula, JOANN's chief financial officer, also revealed that 95% of the company's stores are cash flow positive and said that the company is committed to continuing to operate as usual during the court-supervised procedure. Now, this is the guy, he is the chief financial officer and co-interim CEO. This is the guy that just got the $400,000 thank you bonus, but in return, he has to stay with the company at least 6 months. So it seems like this was JOANN's way of saying, hey, don't jump off the sinking ship. We'll give you $400,000 to stay on. And I like how they're like operate as usual. Like from what I'm hearing about from the stores and from what I experienced, the stores, a lot of them are kind of a mess. So I don't know if that's business as usual, but things are definitely not okay on the ground level. Reached for comment by Fast Company about potential store closures, JOANN referred us to the FAQ page, which states that any changes to the store fleet, including closures, remodels, and new openings, are part of our normal course of business. Normal course of business. However, as the result of the bankruptcy proceedings and JOANN's restructuring, the company says it expects to become privately held. Currently, JOANN stock is publicly traded on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol JOANN. That's with one N. At the time of this writing, JOANN shares were up 23%. This is definitely dated. Trading on the news to 28 cents per share. The company went public on the NASDAQ in March 2021. And by the end of May 2021, it was trading at nearly $17 per share. JOANN expects to complete the Chapter 11 bankruptcy process by okay, that's a typo. It seems to be as early as the end of this April. That's what I think it's supposed to say. And now, while trading was apparently at 28 cents this morning, that's definitely not the case right now because currently JOANN stock is at 18 cents. 18 cents. So, and this is just from the past month. So, last month it was around, 50, 49 cents. March 1st, I think the news about them planning to file bankruptcy was around this time frame. So you can see the stock then fell off a cliff, and it's just been on the gradual decline over the past few weeks. With it, I think trading is over for the day since it's like 6:30 Eastern time. And currently the stock is at 18 cents. And we'll take a more of a wider glance. This is 6 months. This is year to date. This is one over the past 12 months. And this is 5 years. So this is when it went public. So you can see they had better time. This was during the pandemic boom. And then it has not been going well. It has definitely not been going well. So anyways, fun times there. I mean, nobody's really surprised by this. There have been rumblings and a lot of reports about the company performance, and it has not gone well. In case you're not aware, JOANN has a majority control by a private equity group called Leonard Green and Partners. We've taken some deep dives before, so if you want to check out some of the previous live streams, we went over the history of the most recent CEO, Wade Miquelon, who retired last year. Since then, they have not had a permanent CEO. And we also have dug into some of the issues the company has had and the leadership. So if you'd like to check some of those previous shows out, we've gone extensively into the JOANN's recent history here. And what's interesting is, so let's take a look at their Joann's has issued a press release about what's going on. I like how it's like they got like some craft supply, you know. It's like it's kind of an upbeat, like it's like, oh my gosh, everything's cool. Look at all these craft supplies, you know. Joann enters into agreement to reduce debt and receive $132 million in new capital and related financial accommodations. Now, the key takeaways, and I put this on the community tab of this channel last night when I heard it, because I was like, well, I'm not going to stream at like 2 in the morning, but I can at least, you know, let everyone know what's going on. So basically the key takeaways is that this is just the start of the Chapter 11 bankruptcy process, and that's a restructuring. So it does not mean that the company is just going to cease to do business or operate. So the stores and the website will remain functional. The bankruptcy process is supposed to be completed by about April. Now, after the process, Joann is expected to become a private company owned by some lenders and industry parties. So it will no longer be publicly traded. You will not be able to buy the stock anymore. So they've gotten secured commitments for about $132 million in new financing and related accommodation. They are expected to reduce funded debt by $505 million. And yeah, so the store and online operation will be normal. You will still be able to use, they say they'll still be able to use your gift cards and your rewards. I don't know what other changes will be coming down the pipe, but that's what we know right now. So here is the press release that Joann's put out. So I know a lot of this is kind of, you know, kind of like finance speak or corporate speak here. So they are represented. They do have a legal firm representing them. And they also have made like a whole, here, I'll show you guys this. They've made like an entire website for the bankruptcy stuff. So I was like, this is interesting. So last night they announced this website. And you can go here yourself if you want to check out. It's joannforward.com. So this is actually like I'm not joking, it's like their bankruptcy info website. So you can check this out. And I'm like, okay. So Joann is taking steps to strengthen its financial position so the company can continue to deliver best-in-class product assortments and enhance the customer experience. Now, I want to ask you, the viewers, and anyone who shops at Joann's, do you feel like the company is delivering the best products and services? I just want to let's be honest here. And I do also want to point out that this is not the fault of the employees at the stores. This is definitely a top-down. The problems seem to be top-down. Employee morale, from what I can tell, I've been lurking in the Joann subreddit. It's like r/Joann. And the morale from the employees who post there is very, I would say, pessimistic. And they've been, if you want to kind of get the tea and kind of lurk there, I would recommend checking that out. I wouldn't post anything or comment, just kind of look at the comments. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I agree with this statement. Our more than 800 stores across the U.S. remain open, and you can continue to shop on Joann.com. As we move forward on an expedited basis, we remain committed to our purpose, helping our customers find their happy place. Well, I'm glad I'm being very sarcastic here, but it's very obvious that's their main focus. You know, it's not money. You know, it's not anything else. So they have a bunch of stuff you can check out. They've got like customer frequently asked questions. And I want to show you this, like, they made like a little fact sheet here. So this is kind of fun here. So it's like securing Joann's financial position and strengthening the business for the future. I like how they made an infographic like this. And I want to know I feel kind of bad for whoever had to put this together. Joann is open for business. So I like how they're trying to put a positive spin on a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They're like, everything's cool, guys. Everything's cool. This action will provide us with the resources and flexibility to continue to deliver best-in-class product assortments and enhance the customer experience. Customers can continue to shop for Joann's best-in-class product assortments at any of our stores nationwide, online at Joann.com, or on the Joann mobile app, because no one's had any issues buying things. Gift cards, rewards, discounts, and all other customer programs are continuing as usual, and our return policies remain the same. And by the way, the return policies for the machines are really crappy. Like anything big ticket, like sewing machines, or even like the Ditto pattern projector, or like the Brother Sketch that I got there. If you open the box, you can't return it. And even if you didn't open the box, I believe they have like some sort of restocking fee. So their return, just to be clear, the return policies on anything like expensive there seems to be pretty bad. All right, let's see. Our path forward. To best position Joann for the future, we have initiated a voluntary prepackaged Chapter 11 process with the support of our financial stakeholders. This legal process is a tool that many companies in the U.S. use to strengthen their business operations while continuing to operate as usual. We are confident that the steps we are taking will strengthen Joann's financial position, make us a stronger partner for today and the future, and support our long-term growth and success. We expect to complete this process very quickly, as early as late April 2024. Like it says, like they're committed to our purpose. Joann is focused, as always, on helping our valuable customers find their creative, happy place. Now, honest question, if you've been to a Joann's lately, do you feel like it's like a happy place? Like, do you feel like it's positive vibes? Do you feel like it's a place where you can get tranquility and peace? Express themselves and connect with others through creativity. Now, yeah. I don't even know what to say. That infographic was like kind of comical, but in like a sad office space, Parks and Rec kind of way. I'm like, wow. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments, and then we will go over some other resources here. We'll continue to check out all that Joann's has to offer here. All right, I'm in Minnesota, and one of the stores that I know of have started their store closing sales already. Huh. Interesting. All right, yeah. How long can they continue to be listed on the exchange with such a low stock? They're not. They're not going to be. They're done. They're done. For anyone who did short the stock, I guess that was a good move. And there was some unusual activity that I saw one report on, that there was a high amount of put activity, which means they're shorting the stock. Yeah, 18 cents. That's pretty bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, and that's the thing. I feel like a lot of the customers know exactly what's wrong with the store, but clearly the management on the corporate level really does not, because they haven't really made any significant changes in the right direction. It's not going well because they have lost their way. Too much merchandise not wanted by sewers, crafters, etc. My store is too large and the rent has to be high. Yep. There's huge Joann's by me and it's usually empty. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know, right? Best products. I'm like, who are they kidding? Like, that sounds like, are they trying to gaslight all of us into thinking everything's fantastic there? Because when I did go to again, I feel terrible for the employees that they're going through all of this. And I know a lot of the long-term people seem to have left, because when I went to my Joann's lately, there was all like Gen Z younger employees, and there were not any employees over the age of like 30 there. So it seems like those are more recent hires, and I don't fault them. They're just doing the best they can. But they clearly didn't have enough staffing hours at the store because there was inventory all over the place. So things on the store level don't seem to be going very well at many locations. They used to have an excellent supply of ribbon. Now there is basically nothing. All right, not the best, but very much good enough. Okay, well, I'm glad you are finding what you need there for most of what I need. I love our Joann staff. They work so hard on keeping it together. And that's the thing. These people are in a bad situation. You know, they're in a tight spot here, and it's not their fault. So I would ask, if you are going to Joann's, be kind to the employees, and also don't hound them with like a bunch of questions about the bankruptcy, because they don't know anymore. Like, they're not being told any insider information, it sounds like, than we know. So, you know, again, they're kind of in the dark too, and you asking questions about it isn't really going to help anything, and it's probably just going to annoy them and stress them out. So I just ask, if you are going to Joann's, be cool and be kind to all of the employees, because they're obviously going through a very difficult situation right now. All right, I've also loved Joann's in the past, but I see too much junk merchandise now. Yeah, they had some real rando stuff there the last time I was there, and I just didn't understand why it was at a fabric and craft store. It just didn't make any sense. It was like stuff you would see at TJ Maxx, and it didn't seem like a good fit for catering to people who sew and craft. It didn't seem to make a lot of sense. Yeah. Michaels is a formidable competitor against Joann, and they're more expensive, yet Michaels is still standing. Although I think Michaels has had some issues too, and the Michaels subreddit has a lot of weird stuff going on too. So I'll just say that their employees also seem to be going through some stuff too. Michaels had a chapter 11 in the past. Hopefully Joann's can bounce back. My Joann is always out of elastic and other notions. I've had better luck finding what I need at Hobby Lobby. CEOs are probably not being forthcoming to their employees. Yeah, and they knew. So judging from lurking in the Joann subreddit, it looks like, because I found this out from the subreddit, I was like, oh boy. It sounds like an email was blasted to all of the employees announcing this, like, at midnight. So, yeah. Which was kind of ironic because, again, we do this show every Sunday night. And when we found out that they were planning to file for bankruptcy, it was like overnight, Sunday into Monday. And the same thing happened this time. I found out after midnight last night, early this morning. And I was like, oh, man. I was like, we just did a show about, all of what's going on. And it's now going to be kind of dated. So I thought we would do another show because this is obviously a fairly big deal to all of us, and we're all wondering what's going to happen to this company because a lot of us do rely on Joann's. Again, it's not the best fabric store ever or best craft store ever, but it's there, and it would be a shame if it was no longer around. Again, I shopped at Hancock Fabrics a lot, and I really enjoyed the selection. I thought their prices were pretty good, and I was really bummed when that chain closed because, again, it seems like there are fewer and fewer options for us to shop in person, and it is tough. We've seen a lot of quilt shops close. We've seen a lot of other fabric businesses close as well. And I think this also highlights that it is pretty hard the fabric business with retail is pretty difficult. I sell fabric myself in the Etsy shop, and it's pretty tough to move fabric. It's not an easy thing. That's definitely one of my slowest movers, and I don't even have the costs and overhead of a physical storefront. So I do see why, the costs of doing that compared to an online business, it's so much more. You have to hire employees, you have to have all the insurance, the space if you're renting, or if you're, you got a mortgage or buying the building. There's so many costs to operating a store. And again, I'm only doing it online, and it's still, not really, it's not super profitable. So it's like, what do you do? I got a big, guys, I'm ready. I've got my big cup. I've got my, it's not a Stanley. This is a Reduce cup. I got this years ago at a Walmart or a Target or something, and I love it. I think it's great. Although I put too much ice in here today, so my straw is not going to the bottom, but I'm ready. I've got my water. I'm in for the long haul. So we're going to be going, and because people are going to be coming and going, I may be repeating some of this information for people who may be tuning into the stream at different times. So if you are here, just know in advance, there will be some of this information that I will be going over again. Kind of depending, I don't know how long we'll go. I'll hang out for the rest of the night if you guys want to hang out. Just have a place. This is sort of like a community lounge where you can just talk about what's going on, and we can share our thoughts about Joann's filing for bankruptcy. All right, zippers, very poor selection. They don't carry what you need to sew a garment or handbag. Yeah, I've noticed some of the notions are really lacking at Joann's. And the other thing I would say that's been disappointing for me is I find the quality of the notions to be not great, especially for things like bag hardware or other things you would need to make, like items like that. And the zippers, I think there could be better, a better selection, or like they're not real like hip or trendy. It's stuff that's a little bit like dated. And like, yeah, the bag hardware or other things like that, I find they seem kind of cheap looking to me. So I usually source items like bag hardware or zippers elsewhere, just because I'm not a fan of the selection they have there. So, I mean, yeah, and I know a lot of people have had issues finding out now when the patterns are on sale, because it looks like they're not really putting that online. So people are confused which patterns are on sale when. And I know that can be kind of confusing. All right, I like my local Joann's employees. At least I don't have a bad experience like other persons. Well, I'm glad you don't. And I will say, the Gen Z employees at my local store, they were really cool. Like, they were very nice. And, again, I think one problem is that, from what I understand, during the layoffs last year, a lot of people left who are more experienced. And now you have less experienced employees, and they're not getting paid as much either. So that kind of sucks too. Why is fabric so expensive? Is it the cotton, country of origin? I would say a lot of stuff. It is, for cotton fabric, it takes a lot of resources, especially water, to grow cotton. Also, there's like think about it. The price of gas has gone up. The price of transportation has gone up. The price of everything has gone up. So obviously the price of sewing and crafting supplies is also going to go up as well, just because of things like inflation. And then again, gas. You have to use gas and fossil fuels to transport pretty much anything. So when the price of that goes up, the price of those items that's being transported will go up as well, just because it's got to get from point A to B, Oh, I'm still suffering depression over Hancock, Minnesota fabric closing. Yeah, Hancock Fabrics, that was a pretty devastating blow to a lot of us. And they had some really great fabric and notions there. And it was a really nice store. I'd gone there quite a bit when I lived in Atlanta. And I was surprised it closed. And that's the thing. Like, if these large big box stores are not making it too, it's got to be even more challenging for the independent and small fabric stores and small sewing stores, quilt shops, to stay open as well. Because again, they don't have the advantage of having like a large corporation being able to buy in all the bulk volume discounts. Their insurance is going to be a little cheaper per location because they have more locations. So it is more challenging for a small business to stay open than a large conglomerate like Joann's, owned by a private equity group. And even they're not making it. So I don't know what this means for the industry overall. I mean, there are some opportunities for smaller independent stores because people still need a place to buy fabric. I also think it depends on the demographic and if younger people are going to be taking up sewing and other types of handicrafts. If less and less people are into sewing over time, our industry is going to shrink. So, I mean, I don't know, but and that's definitely been a trend from, like, say, the baby boomer generation to like my generation of the millennials. There's not a lot compared to previous generations. There are a lot fewer millennials that are into sewing. And I don't know about Gen Z and Gen Alpha. There does seem to be some like TikTok popularity, but I think another issue is that I've seen a lot of like younger content creators. They're into more like the fast fashion type sewing. And I am a little bit concerned as a content creator who sews about the quality of some of this sewing content. It's like, especially the ones where it's like, okay, use a glue gun. I'm like, no, don't use a glue gun. It's just easier and better to use a sewing machine. Or you see people make things really fast that look cute in photos, but I really question the construction of these items, you know? Like, it seems like they're just making content. Some of these people do seem to be making content just for the sake of making content and not because they're really invested in learning the craft, and that does concern me, you know? All right, My Michaels has switched to self-checkout in the front, even though they are adding more fabric. So your Michaels is adding some fabric. That is interesting. And they did do the announcement about the self-checkout, so that does seem to be like a thing they're doing. And obviously, you know why? It's to save, to save money on employees. You know, so finally they're at the point where that technology, they're willing to invest in it because in the long term, they don't have to hire as many people to man the registers there. All right. Also, many cotton producing countries are impacted by climate change, i.e. water droughts. And that's something to bring up too, is that, I've heard about some of these droughts, and if they don't get enough water, we're going to see a shortage in a lot of things, like certain crops. And again, cotton would be impacted as well. All right. I'm fine with prices going up, but our pay should be up. Well, here's the thing with that is that here's the thing. With any industry, if you have to, again, I'm not saying people should not get paid well, but generally these businesses will pass that cost off to customers. So it's like going to be something where it keeps going up and up. So if you increase pay, then the prices increase. And then you keep having to increase pay. So it's sort of like hyperinflation. You know what I'm saying here? So again, it's tough. So there are no easy answers here, but, I think to some degree, and again, I do think there is value in paying someone with value. So if you are going to get more experienced people, or again, if you're at Joann's and you want to hire people with sewing experience or someone with previous retail experience, obviously they should get paid more than an entry-level employee who doesn't sew and doesn't have a lot of work experience, But I also think that, again, the businesses, if they have to pay employees more, they're just going to raise the prices on everything too. And you're seeing that already with like fast food. I don't know if you guys have gone to like a McDonald's or a Taco Bell recently. Oh my gosh, it is freaking expensive. I went to a McDonald's months ago and I got breakfast there, and it was like $10 for just like a breakfast combo with like a hash brown, a sandwich, and a drink. And I remember going a few years ago, and that same breakfast was like $4. So it almost now doesn't make sense to go eat fast food. I was like, if I'm going to pay $12, I might as well just go to a regular restaurant then. And I've seen people posting like pictures of their like receipts from Taco Bell, and I'm like an item that was 99 cents 5 years ago is now like $5. So the price of everything is definitely going up. And again, there are no easy solutions. And I just want to be clear, this is not a political channel. I'm also not an economy expert. So you're probably not going to get a lot of, legit answers from me. I obviously have my opinions. We all have our opinions. But this is not... I think with things tightening up, people don't have as much money to spend on things like fabric and craft supplies. So I think Joann's was riding the wave. They're like, oh my gosh, everyone's... During the pandemic, that was a very artificial, in my opinion, that was very artificial economic activity. We had stimulus checks, people were at home, and they wanted to learn things. A lot of people got into sewing to learn how to make masks and do like simple things, do that kind of stuff. Because I know my channel saw a large uptick during the pandemic. And that was definitely not, and a lot of channels did, and a lot of businesses, especially online businesses that sold stuff, the luxury market saw an artificial boom. And Joann's was kind of riding the wave thinking it would last forever, and it didn't. It was a very artificial, this was not normal economic traffic and sales for this business. And it seems, I don't know where all the money went from the pandemic, but clearly they did not spend it in the right places. So, it is what it is. All right. Maybe if they have an employee on cutting, they can't staff the checkout. Okay, so you're talking about Michaels. So yeah, I don't know. Are they going to have is Michaels going to have like a cut bar then? And maybe that would help free up people. I mean, I'll have to check. I kind of want to go to a Michaels and see if they've got the self-checkout and just see what's going on here. When I learned to sew when I was a teen, it was less expensive to sew than purchase clothing. This isn't true anymore. And that's absolutely right. With all of the clothing manufactured overseas, a t-shirt is $5 to buy. And if I want to make it, it's going to cost like $20 to make. So people aren't really, there's not a lot of economic necessity to sew clothes that there was in the past. Yeah. All right. Totally agree. There is no quality nor willing to learn proper technique. And I've seen a lot of concerning content online where I'm like it'll say sewing tutorial. And I'm like, that's not a sewing tutorial. Like, it's just, yeah. Yeah. All right. $1.99 patterns are now $2.99. My Joann didn't even know McCall's are on sale today through the 30th. All right. Yeah. Yeah, but how much polar fleece does one need? Because that is the bulk of my Joann's. I noticed that as well, and I know it's popular to make those like no-sew tie blankets and other things from fleece, but I've often wondered that too. The fabric section has an unusually high percentage of the novelty fleece, and I have to wonder what the demand is for that type of fabric. And it's very taste specific. Like, it's like sports tee, it's like licensed sports team fabric, or it's something that like is not going to have like a wide appeal to tons of people. Like, it'll be like cats wearing a witch hat or something, you know what I mean? Like, it'll be something like that, and not something that tons of people are going to buy. All right, I gotta mute myself and cough real quick. Hold on. What a day, though. Like, when I was like getting ready for bed, and I saw, and they filed everything. All right, so we're gonna take a look at the actual case filing here. So Joann's has made this available on the press release. So we'll take a look at this. So this is what they filed, and they literally filed this like at midnight on Monday, so it happened overnight. So this is like, you can take a look at the case background here. I'm not going to go over all of this because it's, here's some important dates. Oh, okay, so there's going to be a hearing. Okay, this is new because when I was checking this out and guys, I was seriously getting ready for bed, and I was like, oh crap, now I got to look at all this stuff. So then I was like trying to look up a bunch of stuff, and I ended up like getting way into the weeds, like last night at like 3 a.m. or something. All right, so they're going to have a hearing on March 19th. So that's actually tomorrow at 1 p.m. So we will be able to check that out, I guess, tomorrow. So here's the first day motions. So yeah, there's all kinds of, they filed like a ton of stuff overnight. Like, look at all this stuff. All right, and here's the case info. And we also have all right, here's all okay, no claims yet. There's the docket. So yeah, if you want to look at all this stuff, if you really want to do a deep dive. Okay, notice of appearance filed by, this is interesting. There's all these cities. What does this mean? Order granting. I wonder if these are all like the, I don't know, are these all like notice of appearance, all these counties? Let's just see what this is. Oh, okay, I have to download this. I don't really want to download this right now. All right, should we? Okay, we'll do it. Let me just see what this is. All right, so this is with El Paso. I actually used to live there. I'm just curious to see what all this stuff is. I'm kind of fascinated by like law and court stuff. So I'm curious. Okay, so this is in Bexar County. That's the thing. El Paso's not in Bexar County, though. This is like a creditor. Okay, so I'm wondering if these are like people Joann's owes money to. I'm not exactly sure. But if you want to look at all this stuff, it's all publicly available on this website. And it's linked in the description box. So if you want to really dive deep into this stuff, you can. I'm very curious. So what's the plan and disclosure statement? Okay. Okay, let's take a look at this plan. Let's see what this is. Plan of reorganization. I don't know. I'm just curious. Oh, man. It's another freaking PDF. Okay. What's with all these PDFs here? I mean, let's take a look at it. Why not here? This is the plan, and this was filed in the United States Bankruptcy Court, Delaware, in the District of Delaware. A lot of corporations have a headquarters in Delaware. This is the plan they have submitted, and this is 69 pages. So if you, yeah. And by the way, again, this is all linked in the description box. So if you would like to check this out for yourself, you're a law nerd, you can do so. So here's their plan. Let's see if there's anything interesting in here. I don't know if we're going to find anything interesting. Hey, we're just spitballing here. Let's see, is there anything? These are just like term definitions. Let's see. All right. Are we going to get to anything good here? Oh yeah, honestly, this is kind of boring so far. Just another disclaimer, I'm not an attorney or a financial expert, so... Alright, so this is basically their plan for, like, the reorg. Alright, restructuring transactions, well... Shout out to all the lawyers out there. Whoever had to draft this. Alright, 69 pages. Wow. Okay, then. So it looks like they're trying to pay the money they owe. Alright. 69 pages. Wow. Okay. Fun times here. I know this is what everyone planned to be doing on a Monday night, right? What all of us were planning to do. Alright, let's see if we can find anything else interesting here. What's the solicitation materials? Okay. Alright, yeah, this is kind of, honestly, this is kind of boring, so probably not going to go over some of this stuff, but, alright, let's take a look at a few more articles, though. Yeah, this is everywhere today. Like, I found there's so many. Now everyone is on top of this. I've seen so many articles. But again, we were doing this before it was hip. All right, so this is an article from Yahoo Finance. Let me get rid of some of this stuff here, guys. Joann enters into agreement to reduce debt and receive $132 million in new capital and related financial accommodations with strong support of key financial and industry stakeholders. All right. All right, here we go. The parties have also agreed to a 6-month extension on the company's existing ABL and FILO credit facilities effective upon the company's emergence from the court-supervised process under the TSA and related transaction agreements. All obligations to employees, vendors, landlords, and other trade creditors will be paid or otherwise satisfied in full and honored in the ordinary course of business. I'm wondering what the new stakeholders in Joann's, I wonder what they're going to demand of the company. Like, are they going to tell them they have to make changes? Like, what are they going to... I wonder if they are going to be making some strategic shifts in the future because, again, things are not going well for Joann's and their financial performance has not been great. Scott Sekula claims 95% of the stores are cash flow positive, though. Right. All right, here we go. Over the past several months, JOANN has made meaningful business improvements through the execution of our Focus, Simplify, and Grow cost reduction initiative, said Chris DiTullio, Chief Customer Officer and co-lead of the Interim Office of the CEO. We are excited by our progress on both top and bottom line initiatives in the past year and are confident the steps we are taking will allow JOANN to drive long-term growth. We appreciate the support from our financial and industry stakeholders in this agreement and their confidence in the ability to continue driving positive business change. There is no other retailer with the same ability to serve sewists, quilters, crocheters, crafters, and other creative enthusiasts as we have for the past 80 years. And we take great pride in seeing the passion and engagement of our millions of customers and our team members. Fun times here. All right, we read Scott's statement earlier. All right. Well, guys, this is it. This is the day that we have been anticipating. JOANN sees Chapter 11 bankruptcy complete as early as late April. JOANN and certain of its affiliates have initiated voluntary prepackaged Chapter 11 cases in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the District of Delaware. All right, this is from Bloomberg. They're behind a paywall, so we can't really read all of this. But in a nutshell, if you're kind of just tuning in, JOANN has filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That does not mean the stores are closing. The stores are open, and the website remains open for ordering. They are expected to complete the process by April. Following this, JOANN is expected to become a private company owned by some lenders and industry parties, so it will no longer be publicly traded. You can't buy the stock anymore. The stock is currently at like 18 cents, so probably not a buy anyways. Again, not financial advice. They are expected to they entered into a transaction support agreement with the majority of its financial stakeholders and additional industry financing parties, gets commitments for about $132 million in new financing and related financial accommodations, and they are expected to reduce their funded debt, by about $505 million. All right, here's another article from Street Insider. Wow, all of these pop-ups here. Fun times. I love how the executives are all like, yeah, we've been making all these positive changes, but we still got to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I'm like, this is interesting. Okay, and this is an interesting article from Investopedia about what happens to stocks after a company files for Chapter 11. So it says, what happens to stocks after Chapter 11? Filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection simply means that a company is on the verge of bankruptcy, believes that it can once again become successful if it's given an opportunity to reorganize its assets, debts, and business affairs. Although the Chapter 11 reorganization process is complex and expensive, most companies, if given the choice, prefer Chapter 11 to other bankruptcy provisions, such as Chapter 7 and Chapter 13, which cease company operations and lead to the total liquidation of assets to creditors. Filing for Chapter 11 gives companies one last opportunity to be successful. All right, so it says, key takeaways. Chapter 11 is one of the easier methods of declaring bankruptcy and could help preserve any future operations of the business declaring it. During Chapter 11, a company's bonds will be significantly downgraded by the ratings agencies. The company may require investors to exchange their bonds for new bonds or stock, as this helps them rebalance their debt. The company's stock might be reissued to investors. Understanding Chapter 11 bankruptcy. While Chapter 11 can spare a company from declaring total bankruptcy, the company's bondholders and shareholders are usually in for a rough ride. When a company files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, its share value typically drops significantly as investors sell their positions. Filing for bankruptcy protection means that the company is in such rough shape that it would probably be delisted from the major exchanges, such as the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange, and relisted on the pink sheets or the over-the-counter bulletin board. When a company going through bankruptcy proceedings is listed on the pink sheets or OTCBB, the letter Q is added at the end of the company's ticker symbol to differentiate it from other companies. For example, if a company with the ticker symbol ABC was placed on the OTCBB due to Chapter 11, its new ticker symbol would be ACBQ. Under Chapter 11, corporations are allowed to continue business operations, but the bankruptcy court retains control over significant business decisions. Corporations may also continue to trade company bonds and stocks throughout the bankruptcy process, but are required to report the following with the Securities and Exchange Commission within 15 days. Once Chapter 11 bankruptcy filed, the federal court appoints one or more committees that are tasked with representing and working with creditors and shareholders of the corporation to develop a fair reorganization. The corporation, along with committee members, creates a reorganization plan that must be confirmed by the bankruptcy court and agreed upon by all creditors, bondholders, and stockholders. All right, so what about the effects on stocks and bonds? Sometimes after a reorganization, a company will issue a new stock that is considered different from the pre-reorganization stock. If this occurs, investors will need to know whether the company has given its shareholders the opportunity to exchange the old stock for new stock, because the old stock will usually be considered useless once the new stock is issued. Throughout the duration of the reorganization, bondholders will stop receiving coupon payments or principal repayments. Furthermore, the company's bonds will be downgraded to speculative grade bonds, otherwise known as junk bonds. All right, since most investors are wary of buying junk bonds, investors that want to sell their bonds will need to do so at a substantial discount. All right, let's see. If the plan for reorganization fails and company's liabilities start to exceed its assets, then the bankruptcy is converted into a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. All right, fun times here. Fun times. So what does everybody think, and do you have any theories for what this will mean for JOANN's moving forward? Do you think they're going to pull it together? Do you think things will get worse? What's your opinion? What do you think about what is going on with JOANN's? All right. Okay, we got someone that says they actually use the polar fleece. That's cool. I am the odd one. I use fleece to make coffee sleeves for my son's coffee shop. I love all the oddball designs. Well, I'm glad there's someone that is there to buy all of the stock, buy all the fleece there. That's cool. My JOANN's has been an echo chamber for a few years. They never have anything that is advertised in the flyer in store, and this is considered a superstore. You know, you're not the only one that says that, yeah. All right. My stores, 6 of them would have unopened shipments on the floor, though I think the employees are probably kept in the dark. Yeah, and this is a problem that seems to be happening at a lot of locations. They don't have enough labor hours for employees to be able to unbox all of the inventory and actually display it on the shelves or wherever it's supposed to go. I'm even seeing in the JOANN subreddit that the employees just don't, there's not enough of them to go around, and they don't have enough hours to be able to do what they need to do. They failed because they failed to offer what customers really want. What do you guys think? Do you feel like your local JOANN's stocks the products you want and the products you need? Let me know here in the chat. I think this is a temporary fix. Yep. The polar fleece prints are plentiful and really cute. I bought plenty myself. I'm glad. Here's the thing. I live in Florida, so I don't have a huge need for fleece to begin with. And I don't make a lot of those like no-tie blankets. I think they're good projects for beginners, and I do think there is a need for, I definitely think there is a market for the fleece, but it does seem like they have kind of a ridiculous amount of the fleece, especially for Florida stores. It's like 90 degrees most of the year, and I can't see there being a huge demand for Florida stores for all of this fleece, but it's everywhere. All right. Oh, this is interesting. I asked a friend of mine, she is management, she knew 2 weeks ago. So maybe I guess they gave management a heads up that this was going on. But yeah, I saw somebody posted shortly after midnight on the JOANN subreddit saying that everybody got an email that this was happening. And then they kind of shared, and then they've been sharing stuff since then. But yeah, it is kind of funny that Joann actually has like a website for the bankruptcy stuff. So if you've been out of the loop, that Joann, it's joannforward.com, and Joann has a website dedicated to the bankruptcy, and this is it. Joann is taking steps to strengthen its financial position so the company can continue to deliver best-in-class product assortments and enhance the customer experience. So they have a website where you can go and learn all about the bankruptcy and what this means for everyone. So you can see, you can see like it's got like press releases, customer frequently asked questions, supplier frequently asked questions, stuff for landlords, team members, and a fact sheet. So you can read. I like how they have this dedicated resource all about their Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I mean, really quite. It's just, I don't know. It's almost like it's very like Office Spacey to me. I'm like, is this really happening? You know what I mean? I don't know. All right, I'm gonna get some water real quick. All right. All right. Only Real Fan says they will be closing soon. I don't know, and I'm not gonna. I don't know. I honestly, maybe they could have a turnaround store. I mean, Craftsy is still around. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. And in case you missed yesterday's show, this is kind of funny too. Let me pull this up here. Y'all remember that the Ditto pattern projector started off being at a price of $799? Well, now, I guess this product launch did not go particularly well because, here, let me, trying to find this. The price of the Ditto pattern projector has continued to go down and down and down. And currently, you can pick up the Ditto pattern projector now for $299. So if you were kind of interested in this product, and I do own it, I just haven't unboxed it yet. I was actually going to do some stuff today, but then this came up, so I was like, all right, well, I got to do a live stream about Joann's because this is fairly big news, and this channel has been reporting on it for months now. But if you have been interested in the Ditto pattern projector and didn't want to pay $799, now it is 63% off, and it's now $299. So it's now $500 off from the original price. I feel very badly for anyone who paid $799 only to have the price drop by $500. That's like insane to me. So yeah. So that's where Joann is currently. All right, they don't stock what we want. Last time I was there, I gotta be honest, they didn't have anything I wanted to buy. So I just walked out empty-handed because they just didn't have anything I was interested in, which was the last thing I bought there. I did buy the Brothers Sketch there. But as far as like notions and fabrics, they really didn't have anything that I was like, yeah, this looks cool. Joann has tried to be all things to all crafter and non-crafters. Unless they change their business model, I'm skeptical of recovery. They need to recruit customers as their buyers and get rid of the ones they currently have because they buy the wrong things to stock in the stores. All right, this is a good point from Denise. Honestly, I think if we want Joann to succeed in the future, we need to keep buying from them in some capacity. I will miss having a physical store to go browse and purchase items from. Now, I agree somewhat with this, but here is the other thing. They have to actually stock things we want. If they don't have, I'm not going to buy stuff just to buy stuff if it's not something I actually am interested in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if it's not at a price I'm comfortable paying. So they need to have things that customers actually want. And it needs to be at a non-crazy price, like a price where you're like, okay, this makes sense. But if you can get an equivalent product from another store or from like Amazon, why would you go to Joann's? Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, in my opinion. All right, so Jules T, I agree. I would be shocked if Joann's is able to turn this around. Okay, so we got a lot of people. And let's run a poll here. You know, let's do a poll about Joann's. Here, I'll put this in. This is going to be for the YouTube peeps here. But we will do a poll to see what we think is going to happen with Joann's. All right, give me a second here. I got to go into the live stream itself to do this. But let's do a poll about whether you guys think Joann's is going to make it or not. And I got to do this actually in YouTube. Okay. Let me see if I can do... All right, let me see if I can... Okay, start a poll. Okay. Do you think Joann will survive long-term as a company? Okay. Oh. Okay, so we're going to do a poll here. As long as I can actually type this out. All right. Okay, so the poll is up. If you would like to vote, do you think Joann will survive long-term as a company? Yes, no. Oh, wait, start. Okay, so let me know. Let me know if you... Let's vote, guys. Oh, wait, did I put the poll up? Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, did I start the poll? All right, let me see if this poll... I don't know if I did this right. Hopefully, yes. Let's see here. Okay. Are you guys seeing a poll, yes or no? I'm not sure if I did this right. I don't think I did. Okay. Okay, so I didn't do the poll. Okay. For some reason, this, like, did not... Okay. Do you think Joann as a company will survive long term? Okay. Yeah, that did not... Okay. Okay, so I think that went through. Okay, here we go. All right, so the poll is up now if you'd like to vote. Do you think Joann as a company will survive long term? All right, now is your chance to weigh in. And I'll share the results a little bit later in the stream here. All right, so far, a lot of you guys think no. Okay, this is interesting. So far, about 75% say no, you don't think Joann is going to make it long term. I mean, that's sad. Like, honestly, Joann has been around since way before I was born. It would be a real bummer for Joann to just completely go out of business. I honestly do hope they can figure it out. Because we still need a place to buy fabric and sewing supplies and craft supplies. They just got to become better because the stuff they have now, a lot of the inventory to me doesn't make a lot of sense. Like all of the games, they have like snack food. They have stuff you would find at a TJ Maxx, and they don't have a lot of stuff for the serious crafter or the serious sewist. And that is a problem I see that they have to overcome, because I'm like, this just doesn't make a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying here? All right. I wonder how much of their sales are from quilters these days. Yeah, I don't... And they don't have a very good selection of quilting cotton. I think for a while they did have the Liberty fabric, and that stuff looked pretty cool. I don't know if they still have that. I heard no. But the Liberty fabric is nice. Like, they need quality quilt shop fabrics. Price is too high. Fabric quality is bad. Use or non-use of coupons is here. Yeah, the coupon stuff is, like, super confusing to me. Because, like, they have too much going on, and they need to simplify the sales and the coupons. Because when I look at their website and I'm inundated with emails from Joann's with like deals and coupons, it's just very confusing to me. Like I'm just like, it's not simple enough for most people, I think. I used to prefer my local fabric shop in Hancock online because it was not closed. Oh, it was not closed over Joann's. But then my local closet in Hancock disappeared online. I started to get more supplies from Joann's. We purchased more items online, and I shop a lot online too. And part of it's because I share a car with my husband, so for me it's a little bit more difficult to get out now. So I rely a lot on online shopping because I don't have access to a car all the time. Who ran their advertising program? Have you seen the models in flyers? It reminds me of Budweiser's issues. Yeah, I don't know. Totally agree. They need to step up their game. Yeah, Joann's, they need help. I don't know. Joann, if you want to pay me as a consultant to come in and tell you what I think, and just from what all the viewers here think, I'd be happy to do so, but you also have to pay me. So, send me an email if you'd like to, if someone from Joann's wants to talk to me, but I ain't doing it for free. Like, I get a lot of people emailing from businesses and they want like free business consulting, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. If they close a lot of FedEx office locations, Joann's won't survive either. Okay, I don't exactly get that, but why FedEx? I don't know. My motto is never pay retail, especially when you know the store habitually discounts items. And that is a thing because people were conditioned now to wait for something to go on sale because we know the sale's coming, and a lot of people don't want to pay retail for it. Let's just say I wouldn't be buying expensive products for fear that the warranty will no longer be honored. It's a good point there. Okay. All right, let's see what everyone thinks from the poll here. Okay, so far the poll is do you think Joann as a company will survive long term? So far 29% say yes, 71% say no. So you guys can keep voting. We'll see what the consensus is, but so far it's over 70% you think no, Joann is not going to survive long term. Okay. Ah! My God, I accidentally hit yes instead of no, but that was my choice. Okay, that's funny. My fear is who's next that will also close their doors after Joann? I mean, it's true, and you know what? We gotta be honest. Amazon has really cannibalized a lot of brick and mortar business as well because they sell basically everything. So, like, places like Amazon, and Amazon is a primarily online business. So I do think that has to do with it too, because they're competing. Joann is competing with tons of other businesses. They're competing with other brick and mortar shops. They're even competing with like Walmart and Target, and they're competing with online behemoths such as Amazon. They should just sell everything for $7. Just kidding. Yeah, that'd be interesting. That would be really interesting. Okay, I choose to be optimistic, so said yes. Okay. I worked there in the mid-'80s when it was Cloth World. It was considered a higher-end, nice store back in the day. And yeah, now when you go to Joann's, it's like cheap tchotchke stuff. And like, it doesn't scream like high-end at all. Not at all. I go crazy shopping when they have free shipping. I felt so bad for my local Joann, especially around Christmas. They were clearly understaffed, and in a conversation, the manager mentioned to me that they wouldn't let her work overtime to catch up. Yeah, that's been a problem, and it looks like from what the chit-chat I see on Reddit, the Joann subreddit, the stores are not being given enough hours for the employees to complete all of the tasks, which is a huge issue for sure. Tired of playing the coupon game with Joann. Yeah, I mean, I'm confused by the coupons. Like, they don't make a lot of sense to me. I'm just like, what is going on here? I love touching the fabric. I miss that with online shopping. They need to stock more apparel fabrics and not so much fleece. Yeah, we got another what's up with all the fleece comments here. Let's put it this way. They have to pivot. If management isn't invested in the products, i.e. crafters themselves, they won't go above and beyond to make Joann a success. All right, yeah, right? All right, I'm a quilter. Their prices are a joke for the quality they sell. I would agree. Like, the quilting cotton there it's not anything I would personally buy or use. And, and that's the thing. A lot of their customers could be quilters, but quilters know that they want to go to quilt shops or buy online to get, like, better quality fabrics. That's definitely a problem. Not to get all self-promy, but I do want to get a shout out to our live stream sponsor, which is, of course, the Sewing Report Etsy shop. So if you do want to get high-quality quilt shop quilting fabrics, sewing supplies, and handmade items, you can shop the Sewing Report Etsy shop. I am currently running a sale on fabric bundles, and I have quite a few. I've got solids. I've got some really cool glimmery fabrics. Got holiday fabrics and lots of other bundles and other notions and sewing supplies these are all things I personally curate myself and things I've used on the channel. And I thought, hey, why not stock this in my own Etsy shop? So if you are looking for an alternative, you can shop the Sewing Report Etsy shop. And I do want to kind of go into this a little bit. I love doing Sewing Report Live. We've been able to have cover some really great topics, and I cover what's going on in the sewing community and the sewing industry. This is not really a sponsored channel. This is very much powered by you, the viewer. And I do want to point out a few ways. If you appreciate and value the work that I do here on the channel, there are a few ways to support Sewing Report Live. So I want to kind of go over some of those things. All right, the first thing you can do is, obviously, if you like videos, like live streams, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. That helps. You participating in the live chat and leaving comments on videos helps with the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm. So those are just a few things you can do that don't cost anything, just if you want to show some support here. If you would like to financially support the channel, there are some other things you can do as well. Obviously, you can shop at sewingreport.etsy.com. That is the Etsy shop where I sell fabric and sewing supplies. You can also leave a super chat or a super sticker here in the live stream, and that is a monetary donation. Another way you can support the channel is by shopping some of the partner and affiliate links that can be found in the subscription box. And here's the thing, and this is just the reality about doing this type of content. Doing independent media or reporting on the industry, it's kind of tough to find sponsors or get, do like brand deals here, because a lot of companies won't do business with me if I don't sign a non-disparagement agreement. Basically, it means if I do a sponsorship with them, or if they, become a sponsor of the channel, I can't say anything negative about their company ever. So there are a lot of content creators that rely heavily on sponsorships and brand deals. And that's why you don't see a lot of this type of content on YouTube or even on social media in general, is because they rely so heavily on these companies. They can't say anything negative about them. I've reported on companies like Craftsy, Cricut, Brother, and Joann's, and I've gotten sponsorship deals from a lot of these companies, and I knew I can't take them because I would have to sign an agreement with them and be contractually obligated never to say anything negative about any of these companies or be critical in any way. So I do want to just call attention to that fact that doing channels like this is not very easy to, it's not very easy to monetize, because a lot of this content relies heavily on sponsorships. Now, I have done some sponsored videos in the past with my friends at Sew Tights, and here's why I decided to do that sponsorship, is because they did not have me sign any sort of NDA or non-disparagement agreement, and I did an ad read sponsorship with them, so it was not part of the content. And that's something I don't do. I do not do sponsorships or integrated brand deals where people would be confused over what's like really my opinion and what's the sponsorship. So the deals I've done with Sew Tights are basically, I did an ad read for the company, but it was not part of the content. The content was something completely different. And that's the only type of sponsorship I will consider at this time, is something where it's not like a paid product review or a paid feature, where this is just something where I do a completely separate ad read, but where it's very clear to you, the audience, what is the ad read and what is the content. And I feel like that's been I feel like the water has been muddied a lot within this space, in where it's hard for people watching to discern what is the ad and what is the content. And I wanted to keep that completely separate, but it's a little bit harder. And I have left a lot of money on the table by not doing sponsorships, because I ethically didn't feel comfortable with the business arrangement. So again, if you would like to support channels like this, I do a main channel called The Sewing Report, where I do more straight up sewing, embroidery, and like crafting videos. But this channel is just to talk about what is happening in the sewing community. And I know right now that I would have a very hard time finding sponsors for this channel because I do need to maintain the freedom to be able to talk about whatever I want. And I know that that's going to be, kind of tough. Most companies will not do a deal with me without requiring me to sign some sort of non-disparagement agreement. So again, if you do appreciate the work we do here and want to support independent media, there are a couple ways you can do that. Again, liking the videos, commenting, participating in the chat helps. Subscribing also helps to support the channel. But if you would like to support in any sort of financial way, you can do that by shopping the Etsy shop, leaving a super chat or a super sticker, and shopping some of the affiliate links in the description box. Again, just a quick kind of public service announcement here. All right, let's read some of the comments. I was an education coordinator for almost 10 years in East Orlando. Most employees had no crafting knowledge. Once a year, we had an after-hours gathering doing 15 minutes mini classes. All right, I think if upper management wants to keep their paychecks, they will need some change, make it work. I guess you never know, though. Good point. Teachers were expected to attend voluntarily, no compensation. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Ironically, it's NDA models that help perpetuate a company's bad behavior. And that's the thing, like, I understand that companies need to, like, CYA, and they don't want their influencers, they don't want their stable of influencers talking crap about them. I totally understand that. But if I were to do those types of deals, I would not be able to do this type of content. And clearly there is a value and a need for reporting on the industry, which is what we do here at Sewing Report Live, and it's tough. So, and you've probably seen a lot of content creators who do have brand deals with companies like Cricut, Brother, or Joann's, and they will never be able to say anything remotely negative about these companies. And because I don't have those restrictions, I can say whatever I want. And that's what I've decided to do here. But at the same time, it's definitely a catch-22 because I'm not getting, again, it's harder to monetize and make this financially feasible. But I appreciate all of you for watching. Again, I just want to point out, if you would like to support in other ways, there are some things you can do. We had some very dedicated teachers, but it wasn't really fair to expect them to attend. Their only compensation was a percentage of class fees. To my mind, this is the wrong business model. And here, I have seen, so like when I've seen this work in like other spaces where someone teaches classes at like, say, a quilt shop or something like that, it does seem like the onus is on them to get people to attend the class. Like if they have like a social media following, or if they have like, people who support them outside of the business, and then they do get basically you're paying the venue to use their space. I kind of get that, and that does seem to work, but that also depends on that teacher being able to get people to come to the class. So it's sort of like you have to market yourself, and then you get a percentage. I can sort of see why they do that. I do think if you are employed by Joann's, it would make sense to pay the instructors outright. But if they're like third-party contractors, I understand why they do it. All right, so if you are just tuning in and you haven't caught most of the stream, I do want to kind of do a recap about what's going on. And around midnight today, so overnight, Joann filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The stores will remain open from what they are saying. The online shop, you can still buy things from Joann.com. But I'll go to this Fast Company article here. But Joann is going to be reorganizing, restructuring, and going through some changes here. So this is from Fast Company. Are Joann stores closing, bankruptcy, and stock delisting come for the fabrics giant? The fabric and sewing chain, which dates back to 1943, says it will continue to operate normally after filing for Chapter 11. And shout out to the author, Michael Grothhouse. Joann Inc., the owner of the Joann chain of sewing and fabric stores, is filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the company has announced. The move comes after the chain has struggled with declining sales in recent years. As a result of its changing financial situation, Joann stock will be delisted from the NASDAQ. The company was founded in Cleveland in 1943 and currently has 829 stores located in 49 states. The good news for both customers and employees is that it doesn't appear that any JOANN locations will be immediately closed as part of the bankruptcy procedures. The financial restructuring contemplated by the TSA Transaction Support Agreement will be implemented through a prepackaged court-supervised process by which JOANN will continue to operate in the ordinary course of business, the company's press release states. JOANN stores and the JOANN.com website will remain open and continue operating as normal, and customers, vendors, landlords, and other trade creditors will not see any disruption in services. Scott Sekula, JOANN's chief financial officer, also revealed that 95% of the company's stores are cash flow positive and said that the company is committed to continuing to operate as usual during the court-supervised procedure. Now, this is the guy that's just received the $400,000 thank you bonus to stay on for the next 6 months, and he is the co-interim CEO. JOANN's most recent CEO, Wade Miquelon, retired last year, and the company does not currently have a permanent CEO. Reached for comment by Fast Company about potential store closures, JOANN referred us to its FAQ page, which states that any changes to the store fleet, including closures, remodels, and new openings, are part of our normal course of business. However, as a result of the bankruptcy proceedings and JOANN's restructuring, the company says it expects to become privately held. Currently, JOANN stock is publicly traded on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol JOANN. As of the time of this writing, JOANN shares were up 23%. This is totally dated information. In pre-market trading on the news of its 28 cents per share. The company went public on the NASDAQ in March 2021, and by the end of May 2021, it was trading at nearly $17 per share. JOANN expects to complete the Chapter 11 bankruptcy process by as early as the end of this April. Now, this is dated information because let's check out the latest stock price, and JOANN's has closed the day at 18 cents. So it is definitely not at 28 cents. It's currently at 18 cents, and you can see it kind of drop off the cliff at the beginning of this month here. So it was around 50 cents last month. And this was when the news broke that the company was most likely filing for bankruptcy. So it kind of fell off a cliff, and it's been sort of like hanging on. So I believe trading is closed for the day, and JOANN stock is currently at 18 cents. So 18 cents, yeah. All right, let's see what the poll is at here. We'll see what's going on here. All right, currently I'm running a poll. Okay, so currently, wow. So I'm running a poll. Do you think JOANN as a company will survive long term? 35% of you say yes, and 65% say no. That's actually more than I thought. I thought it would be closer to like 80% no, 20% yes, maybe even worse. Okay, so 35% of you think JOANN will be okay long term. And I want to ask you, to everyone watching, what do you think JOANN needs to do in order to like turn things around? What would you like to see happening with this company and with the stores? So, I mean, they haven't been doing very well. Even before the bankruptcy filing, JOANN was majority controlled by a private equity group called Leonard Green and Partner. They owned about like 66 or 67% of the JOANN stock, and they make up the vast majority of JOANN's board of directors. And if you are kind of new to this channel, I've done previous deep dives on JOANN's corporate performance, the leadership team, and everything that went wrong with former CEO Wade Miquelon, and there was a lot. So if you'd like to check out some of the past live streams or past clips, you'll find plenty of them here on this channel. I've been reporting on JOANN for several months, and this has become a lot of this channel, which is kind of ironic, but hey, it is what it is. All right, we had some really dedicated teachers, but it wasn't really fair to expect them to attend. They're only, okay, I think we read this one already. Unless JOANN listens to what we want and need, they will fail, and I will miss them. That's exactly how community is built through education, but support is a key factor for the business promoting class. And that's the thing. I understand, like, if the teachers are people that don't work for Joann's directly and they're a third party contractor, like an independent contractor, I can understand why the business would also put some responsibility on the teacher to drive their class enrollment as well. So I can understand that. Start by interviewing somebody high up. So here's the thing. I could definitely request interviews with someone at Joann's. I know I would not get an executive. At best, they would give me like one of their PR people. And I can already tell you this. It's not even worth asking because they would not agree to an interview with no restrictions. And if you don't know my background, I'm a former TV news producer. People like this would never agree to a no-holds-bar conversation. Definitely not live. They would have all kinds of parameters before agreeing to anything like this, and I doubt they would do a YouTube channel. So I could ask, but I don't think it would happen. And if it did, I wouldn't be comfortable with the terms they would be requiring in order for that to make it happen. They would definitely be like, we won't talk about this, this, and this, and they would want to see the questions ahead of time, and I would not do that. Because that wouldn't really be journalism at that point. It would basically be like a, how can I say this? It would be like a rehearsed thing. It wouldn't be like organic. They should partner with Stanley Cups and sell those. Maybe like a Stanley Cup DIY kind of thing, like a crafty thing. I don't know. All right, stop paying bonuses to CEO and higher-ups. Pay the employees, get the quality and prices back in check. That's a good comment, Karen. I like how your name is Karen Burnett. Is that your hair color or is that your last name? But yeah, that would definitely be a good place to start for sure. I mean, yeah, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know where to begin. It's such a dumpster fire right now that I'm not even sure, like, they would have to do a complete 180 and, like, clean house and get all new people in there, I think. Because that's the thing. The current, like, the people already there have already, like, poisoned the water. So anyone new they brought in... Oh, and by the way, they did hire a, like, I reported this yesterday. They have added a new member to the board of directors. This lady, Pamela Corey, she's kind of like the turnaround person. And so one of the comments said she also was involved with Bed Bath & Beyond and a bunch of other different companies. She's a lawyer and has been involved in quite a few, like, Chapter 11 bankruptcy things. So she has a history of this. Okay. Oh, it's my married name. My hair is gray. I used to be blonde. I just think it's funny how your last name is Karen. Your name is Karen Burnett. That's funny. But yeah, let me know. What do you guys think Joann's has to do if they want to even hope to get back on track? Like, what do you think I got to do? All right, I got to cough real quick and get some more. Yeah, I don't even know what they can do at this point. It's pretty crazy. Let's see if we can find it. I'm going to see if I can find any more articles, too. Let's see if we can find anything else about any other fun things. It would be a shame. This company has been around in some form for so long. It would be a real shame for them to not make it after this long, Yeah, it's being picked up everywhere. AP, CBS News, NPR, New York Times. Yeah, like, I mean, this is everywhere. So, I mean, it's definitely getting a ton of media coverage today for sure. Let's see here. Yeah, look at this. I'm not sure why there's a picture of Trump. Like, Fox, I don't know why there's a picture of Trump with this. He has nothing to do with this, so that's kind of... It seems to be a weird photo for this article. CNN, my former workplace. Seattle Times, New York Times, NBC, The Street, Investor Place. Let's see what Investor Place is saying about this. All right, I hope I don't have to get a paywall. All right. So this is what Investor Place has to say. Joann, stock alert. Joann is on the brink of bankruptcy. Oh wait, this is an old article. Okay. I think we looked at this before too. Investors weren't too keen. Yeah. So yeah, they had some heavy trading a couple weeks ago after the bankruptcy rumors started. So a lot of people were like shorting the stock and stuff. So that's interesting. Once private equity get involved, this is the beginning of the end. Just ask Sears, Bed Bath & Beyond, or Toys R Us. Man, I'm sad about Toys R Us. That was like my whole childhood. And I used to go to like I remember as after high school shopping at Bed Bath & Beyond to get like stuff for my college dorm room. Like I feel like if you're like an 80s or 90s kid, that's like that's everything you remember about growing up is a lot of those stores. You know, we've also seen the decline of like shopping malls and a lot of brick and mortar stores just because they need to, you know, just because the consumer patterns and technology has changed so much, and Joann's is competing with every online business as well. So there are some external, like I don't want to put like every single ounce of blame on Joann's because some of these factors are like external as well, such as the economy and just how consumer buying patterns have changed. Oh, thank you. They need to hire you. You know what, Joann's? If you want to hire me, I'm available. I'll do some consulting. Let me do some videos. We can turn this around. You got to pay me, though. Here's the thing. I will not sign a non-disparagement clause. So I still get to say what I want, and you got to pay me. But I would be happy to put my 2 cents in. You know, if you're willing to play ball and actually have an open mind, I would do it. But a lot of these corporate types, like, they're so boxed into the way things have always been done. A lot of these corporate people don't want to do anything different. And that's what I found. I worked in corporate America for about 15 years. And, and they don't want, like, they want to do things like it's the 70s or something. And that's part of the problem. The only way Joann will survive is completely reorganized. They need to listen to the employees in the stores. They also must listen to their customers. The executives need to work their butts off to save Joann. That would be nice, but I don't know if I see that happening. I mean, Scott, hey, Scott just got his $400,000 bonus too. He can buy himself another car or something. Bed Bath & Beyond prices were too high. I wasn't sad to see them go. Is anyone else bummed to see the disappearance of the 20% off coupon flyer with the coupon in it, though? The problem with retail is they make managers keep low hours in the stores. So they can get bonuses, whereas regular employees do not. It's a sad situation in retail. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, yeah, it is. Everything happening with all of our, like, long-time staples. These businesses have seen massive disruption with technology, with online shopping, and with everything else going on, and with the economy that, a lot of these Sears is not making it, I mean, that doesn't tell you anything. They don't even know how to sew on a button. We got to make sewing cool again. Yeah, and that's why I do what I do, is to try to promote sewing and try to get people to see the value in sewing, and also try to keep all of us informed about what's happening here. All right, guys, let's turn the music back on. We'll groove out a little bit here. All right, guys. So I'm asking you, the viewer, what do you think Joann's needs to do in order to turn things around and be successful as a company? They just filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Clearly things are not going super well for the company, Let's be real here. All right, let's look at the Joann management team here. This is fun. I'm going to mute myself because I got to cough real quick. All right. So this is Joann's management team. So we got Chris Titulio, Executive Vice President, Chief Customer Officer, and Co-Lead Interim Office of the CEO. We've got Scott Sekula. This is the guy they're trying to keep around until after the bankruptcy proceedings are done because he just got a $400,000 bonus. He's the Executive Vice President, Chief Financial Officer, and Co-Lead Interim Office of the CEO. We've got Robert Will, Chief Merchandising Officer, and Aber, Senior Vice President and Chief Legal Officer and Secretary. We've got Joe Tybalt, Senior Vice President in Store Operations. Lisa Whitman-Smith, Senior Vice President, Inventory Management and Business Insights. John Stelcup, Senior Vice President, Chief Information Officer, and Dennis Sheldon, Senior Vice President of the Supply Chain. So these are the people currently in charge of Jo-Ann Fabrics. Do you think they're doing a good or bad job? What's your impression here? And we'll also take a look at the board of directors here. They have, let's see, the last I checked, they have not added... Oh, wait, this is interesting. Wait. Huh. When I last checked, they had 6 board members, not including Pamela Corey. It seems like somebody's missing. So I wonder if they maybe switched out Pamela for one of the other board members, because I swear, when I checked this in the last live stream, there were 6 people on the board of directors, and yeah, I want to check this. Let me check out the last live stream, because that's not what this looked like the other day. And Pamela Corey, the newest board member, had not been added to this website. So I'm wondering if maybe they got rid of one of... Let's check, because I'm wondering if they got rid of one of the board members and kind of switched them out so they would still have 6 board members, because they were supposed to have 7 board members. But it does sort of look like somebody's missing here, I swear. Like, there were 6 the other day, and Pamela was not on there, the newest board member. All right, I got to check this out here. Let me check. I'm not joking. All right, I'm trying to find this. Because I swear, they had... Yes! Okay, I'm right, guys. All right, guys, let's... I want to check this out. Somebody is missing, and it's, who is it here? All right, I gotta... Okay, who is missing here? It is... Okay. And we gotta compare this, because this is interesting here. Okay, Jonathan Sokoloff is missing. Okay, we have got to look at this. Okay, so I'm not kidding. Okay, this is the stream. This is yesterday. And notice you've got Anna, Daryl, Jonathan, Lily, Mary Beth, and Brian. So notice 6 people, and Pamela Corey has not been added because she's the latest board member. So there's 6 people. And this is when I checked the website literally yesterday. Interesting. So it looks like... And notice here it is today. You notice there's 5 people, and Jonathan Sokoloff is no longer there. So it does kind of look like they have taken Jonathan off. Let me see if I can find this. Jo-Ann board... Because Jonathan is not there anymore. So that's some breaking news there. Because Jonathan's no longer on the website. Oh! Guys, this might be a scoop. This might be a hot scoop here. All right, look at now when you go to Jonathan's board member page, page not found. And this was literally available yesterday. That's pretty crazy. So Jonathan is no longer on the website under the board of directors. And he no longer has a board member page. So it looks like maybe Jonathan has been removed or replaced by Pamela Corey, the turnaround expert. That's pretty interesting here. And that's literally a development from yesterday to today. So it does look like Jonathan is no longer there. Pretty crazy stuff here. Let's read some more comments here. Only real fan. There were other reasons that Bed Bath & Beyond had their troubles. Many consumers boycotted them for reasons Okay, so is it for like politics or something? Okay, yeah, this is. And by the way, if you're new here, we don't do politics here. We don't do politics. This is a politics-free zone. We just like that's the thing. Politics is everywhere, and I just didn't want it to creep into this this channel. As long as fast fashion is so cheap, no one is getting into garment sewing anymore. All right, this is your suggestion for Joann's. Take out items that we don't want to buy. We don't buy and make the store smaller with going back to only sewing items. I love the 12 by 12 cardstock wall, though. All right, they are about to be jobless. All right, Karen says, employ sewists, crafters, quilters, and higher-up positions and in stores. They also need to purchase quality goods, have sales, rewards, coupons to get people and cash back into the stores. Where all the empty shelves exits, put in work tables wherein sewists and crocheters and quilters can share their talent. Hello, Manx Cat. Welcome to the stream. We are talking about Joann Fabrics filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy literally today at midnight. So after last night's stream, I was getting ready to go to bed and I saw this broke and I was like, oh, damn. Oh, damn. Oh, my gosh. We've got a super chat in the house. Denise. Thank you. Oh my gosh. This is like, I don't get a lot of super chats, but they are appreciated. This is one way you can financially support the Sewing Report Live here. Denise, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that. Denise says, they look like a bunch of nice people, but why don't they reach out to the customers for opinion on the true needs of the Joann's base? And that is a good question. It seems like they haven't really been taking customer feedback really into account. All of the stores have all this crap nobody wants. And like, I think you ask a valid question. Why aren't they listening to the customers? You know, I mean, even Brother, after all of the feedback about the Artspira app, they actually did make a change based upon what people were saying. And Joann's just keeps doing whatever. And it's clearly not going well. Denise, thank you for the $10 super chat. And if you would like to, if anyone else would also like to leave a super chat or a super sticker, that is a way you can support independent media here on YouTube and channels like mine, where we touch a lot of topics other content creators can't, just due to various sponsorships and business relationships with the companies that I've been reporting on. So Denise, greatly appreciate it, and thank you for joining us here at Sewing Report Live, where we are talking about Joann's Chapter 11 bankruptcy. We'll leave this up for a little bit as well. And thank you. Yes, and if you are new, super chats are a way where you can donate to a live stream. I know a lot of the demographic here on the channel is like 50 plus, and I greatly appreciate everyone who is watching. But super chats are very common on live streams, especially for live streams that have a large viewership. It's a way for your chat to be more prominently displayed. And of course, live streamers do greatly appreciate super chats because it helps power their channels. So thank you, Denise. Did anyone ever figure out how to read a Joann receipt? Yeah, I don't know. It's confusing. Quick, someone tag Joann's. They could learn from us. My Joann does not have in-store classes, and maybe more of those. This is when too many investors try to run a sewing biz. They don't care. It's about taking equity out. All right, Cheryl says, hi, Jen. Thank you for the information. Appreciate all your work. Thank you, Cheryl. I like the availability of home dec and yarn needlework materials and kits. I'm not so much into the floral or jewelry paper items. Yeah, and they do seem to have a very large floral department. Like, it takes up a lot of space in the stores. That is a good thing to ask. Have in-store classes back in the day. Northwest Fabrics and Crafts had them, and they were always full. You know, and they could be doing more of that, but it seems like it's like a very kind of a... It's like they're between a rock and a hard place. They're not working with enough money, and they clearly don't want to invest a lot into a lot of stuff, but that would also be a way to get more people in the store. So it is a tough situation for sure. I wanted to look more into this Jonathan Sokoloff guy, because it appears he has been removed literally since yesterday. Jonathan has been removed off of the Joann's board of directors page, which is pretty interesting. Like, literally yesterday, Jonathan was listed on the board of directors. So here's Jonathan's page when you go to it. And today, he is no longer on the JOANN's board of directors page. Literally yesterday, when we were looking at this, there were 6 people, including Jonathan Sokoloff. Today, he ain't there. So what happened? I want to know what happened to Jonathan. This seems to happen just today. I'll be looking into this to see what happened to Jonathan. But let's look at let's look to see what's happening with Jonathan here. Let's see if we can find a bio here. All right, and Jonathan is on the Leonard Green and Partners team, and Leonard Green and Partners is the private equity group that controls a majority stake in JOANN Fabrics. All right, let's look at Jonathan's. Yeah, he's no longer on the JOANN's board of directors page, and he was there yesterday because I looked at it. Okay. All right, so here is Jonathan. All right, so this is Jonathan's bio, and Jonathan was on JOANN's board of directors page yesterday, and he's been wiped off. So I don't know what happened to Jonathan. Jonathan is a managing partner at Leonard Green and Partners. John joined LGP in 1990. John was a managing director in corporate finance at Drexel Burnham Lambert, which he joined in 1985. Prior to Drexel, John was a principal at Hambrecht and Quist, and prior to that, he was with Woodman, Kirkpatrick, and Gilbreth, which subsequently merged with Hambrecht and Quist. He began his career at Merrill Lynch & Co. John serves as a trustee of Williams College and the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. He is also a board member of the Melanoma Research Alliance. John earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from Williams College. So here's a good question. What happened to Jonathan in the past 24 hours? Because he was literally on the page yesterday, and he is no longer on it. And we already know JOANN is bringing in Pamela Corey. And let me see if I can find some information on her. And she is allegedly a Chapter 11 turnaround expert. So let's see what's going on with Pamela Corey here. So here is her LinkedIn page here. Okay, I don't really want to... All right, so this is... I'm going to be real. I don't want to log into LinkedIn. But this is Pamela Corey. This is JOANN's latest board of directors recruit. She lives in Richfield, Connecticut, and she's got JOANN now. I can't see her whole thing because I'm not logged in. I don't want to log in here, but that's what we got going on here. Okay, so here's all of her stuff if you want to look her up. But she is, so I'm wondering if, I don't know why they removed Jonathan, but Jonathan Sokoloff is no longer on the JOANN board, and Pamela is being brought in. JOANN filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy literally at midnight today, so overnight, while a lot of us were sleeping. I was still up because I'm crazy, and that's the latest with JOANN's. I'll turn the music off for a little bit here, and we'll read some of your comments. All right, this is when too many investors try to run a sewing biz. They don't care. It's about taking equity out. All right, thank you for the information. Appreciate all your hard work. Thank you very much, Cheryl. And again, big shout out to Denise Vetrano. They look like a bunch of nice people. But why don't they reach out to the customers for opinion on the true needs of the JOANN space? This was a $10 super chat. And this, guys, this is what will help support the channel and keep it going. So thank you very much, Denise. I like the availability of home deck and yarn, needlework materials and kits. Okay. I'm prepared to buy materials for classes at the price I'm taking the class. All right, Denise says, I do love the seasonal merch. I know people who come into the store for just that. And that's the thing. I can maybe see an argument for some of the seasonal items. In my opinion, it does seem like they have a lot, like almost too much of it, if that makes sense. And I also think it kind of conditions customers to think everything needs to be on sale, because even when they first put the merchandise out, it's already 50% off or 60% off. And it's like, just give us the real price. Like, you don't need to mark things up just to mark it down, 50%. From a business standpoint, those who said they need to hire crafters, quilters, that is ideal, but not a reasonable expectation due to the current job pool and for the majority of the country. You know, here's the thing. I think they need someone that actually knows this stuff, because the stuff they're stocking in store is not what a lot of people want. The last time I was at Joann, I did not see anything I was interested in purchasing, like not one thing. And I actually was looking, I shot like a little vlog there if you want to check it out here on the channel. And I was looking for something because I wanted to purchase something, but there was literally nothing there I wanted to buy. And I think that's a problem. The store was a bit chaotic, and a lot of the inventory was like still in boxes. They've got some problems there. Framing takes up a lot of room. They seem to always push framing and discounts for that, and not much of anything else. So sad. They could do so much. The big question is, do they really want to save Joann? Their supply chain has issues. The marketing and merchandising departments have issues. They need better focus groups. They actually pay attention to real trends and needs. Yeah, they could definitely use some of that. They could have made this work out even with supply chain problems. I hope Sewing and Fiber Arts does not get the goal sunset. I agree with you, Manx Cat. I agree. Let me get some water real quick. I've got my big cup of water here. I came prepared, guys. I came prepared. I'm on some cough medicine too. Yeah. I was not expecting to do a show so quickly, because I was like, you know, and I did get my multi-camera working again too. So I had to restart my computer, and I had like kind of a mess yesterday. But we're back. You know, we're back. And I appreciate everyone watching. If you have any thoughts, and let's see where the poll is too. Let's see where everyone is on the poll here. Yeah, it is weird. So we've uncovered it. I'm going to look into what happened to happened to Jonathan Sokoloff. It looks like in the last 24 hours, Joann has taken off Jonathan Sokoloff off the board of directors in light of them putting Pamela Corey onto the board. So I don't know what happened to him. This is pretty crazy stuff here. All right, let's see where the poll... Okay, wow. All right, we've got some new developments with the poll. So I asked you guys, do you think Joann as a company will survive long term? Right now, it's 37% yes. So 37% of you think Joann's is going to make it. 63% of you say no, you don't think Joann will survive long term. That is really interesting. That's really interesting. Really interesting. So I thought it was going to be more 20%. All right, Arlene says, I'm going to send an email to corporate to contact us to tell what I need most from them. I can't just sit and do nothing while watching them go down the toilet. It'd be nice if I could reach the board of director. And hey, Joann board of directors or management, if you're watching this, you can see plenty of good comments from all of the viewers here with suggestions. So I would highly encourage the management at Joann's to check out content like this. Check out some of the streams, and you can see what real customers are saying. They chose to do the messy quick fixes instead of investing in what would truly work. I worked in retail for 20 years. I found that the people in corporate think people at store level are beneath them and don't know anything. I think there's a lot of truth to that, for sure. Ooh, maybe Pamela started cost cutting with Jonathan. Do board members actually really add value, and how much more could be done with the money the board has paid? And yeah, from what I've read, Pamela Corey is being paid $30,000 per month to sit on Joann's board of directors. $30,000 per month. Some people don't even make $30,000 a year. And she's on multiple boards. So Pamela is definitely cashing in on this. And I want to know, how much work does it actually require, like manpower, hours of labor, do actually spend sitting on the board of director for a corporation? I don't know. But she's getting paid $30K a month to be on Joann's board of directors. So, yeah. I don't even know, guys. I don't even know. That $400,000 retention bonus is a joke, I know. Like, he's getting paid. And it's like, thanks for doing such a good job, Scott. Here's $400,000. Here's $400,000. I mean, nobody's here offering me $400K, so I don't even know what that's like. Have any of you ever been offered $400,000 for doing a crappy job at work? I don't know. All right, again, bad business decisions by higher ups. Yeah, I mean, clearly they are not doing their jobs well, because the company is filing for bankruptcy, and they wouldn't be in this situation if things were going awesome. I usually just shop remnants that are 50 to 75% off, and sales, they are so pricey are most things. I don't want them to go under. We have less and less stores to choose from anymore. Board members need to put in an all-day shift at a store. That's a really great idea. Maybe they would start to see what's going on here. And Scott Sekula, maybe he should start working the cut bar at Joann's and cutting fabric or something. Working the cash register, helping customers to see what it's like. That would be a good suggestion, so they can see what it's like on a ground level here. So yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, well, if you are joining late, or if you're kind of coming in late, Joann has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And we'll go over this again here. They put out a press release overnight here. Joann enters into agreement to reduce debt and receive $132 million in new capital and related financial accommodations with strong support of key financial and industry stakeholders. Here is the press release. So they filed a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It's expected to be complete. They've started the process. It's expected to be complete by April. And yeah, so that is what is going on with Joann. They have a whole website, yes, a whole website, joannforward.com, dedicated to sharing everything about this bankruptcy proceedings. So if you want to check it out, links to all of the resources are down in the description box. Joann is taking steps to strengthen the financial position so the company can continue to deliver best-in-class product assortments and enhance the customer experience. Our more than 800 stores across the U.S. remain open, and you can continue to shop on Joann.com. As we move forward on an expedited basis, we remain committed to our purpose, helping our customers find their happy place. Well, isn't that awesome? Here is a fact sheet that the company has put out. Securing Joann's financial position and strengthening the business for the future. I know, right? I love how they made like this little infographic. Our path forward. To best position Joann for the future, we've initiated a voluntary prepackaged Chapter 11 process with the support of our financial stakeholders. This legal process is a tool that many companies in the U.S. use to strengthen their business operations while continuing to operate as usual. We are confident the steps we are taking will strengthen Joann's financial position, make us a stronger partner for today and the future, and support our long-term growth and success. We expect to complete this process very quickly, as early as April 2024. Joann is open for business. This action will provide us with the resources and flexibility to continue to deliver best-in-class product assortments and enhance the customer experience. Customers can continue to shop for Joann's best-in-class product assortment at any of our stores nationwide, online at Joann.com, or on the Joann mobile app. Gift cards, rewards, discounts, and all other customer programs are continuing as usual, and our return policies remain the same. Working with vendors and suppliers, Joann has received commitments for approximately $132 million in new financing and related financial accommodations, and expects to reduce funded debt on our balance sheet by approximately $505 million. All obligations to team members, vendors, landlords, and other trade creditors will be paid or otherwise satisfied in full and honored in the ordinary course of business. All right, fun times for Joann Fabrics here. So what does everybody think? If you've been watching for a while, thank you for sticking with us. If you are new to the stream, let me know what your opinion is. Does this worry you? And what's your opinion on if you've been to a Joann store lately or ordered from Joann? What has been your experience? Let me know here in the chat. I've shopped Joann's over 30 years. It's sad and frustrating at the same time. All day work for an entire month or so. Yeah, I think the board members and the management team need to see what's going on in the stores because it's kind of chaotic and a mess. I work for one of the largest produce suppliers in the US and Canada. Our VP and CEOs actually come and talk to the employees at numerous facilities. What a crazy idea. I know, talking to people who work at the facilities. I mean, what a crazy idea. Who would have thought about that? You are 100% correct. It's very different sitting behind a desk than it is working the floor. I'll bet most of the higher ups don't craft or sew. Well, you know my opinion on that, yeah. Yeah, even CNN was reporting on Joann's bankruptcy this morning. And yeah, CNN, I actually used to work there. They don't normally report on like sewing or crafting stuff at all. Typically not. After Joann Fabrics went from family owned to corporate owned, they went downhill. Were the employees allowed to be honest? That's a good question for Angel Alice. Good question here. Why did Joann only have select stores with coffee cafe cookie bar? That would, honestly, I think they should do that more. Like Costco, something like that. That would be awesome. Sewing lounges, sewing machine rentals. If Joann had a like little snack bar and stuff and a place to hang out, I'd probably go hang out there more. Ooh, all right. Yes, they actually prefer the honesty. They take the time to explain changes and why it works for the business. Well, it sounds like your company is doing the right thing there. All right. Tyra, they went where the money was, sadly. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. It's a sad situation. I really do sincerely hope Joann's can get it together and turn the ship around. Right now, it is a sinking ship, much like the Titanic, and obviously things need to change at Joann Fabrics if they hope to be a company moving into the 21st century. And it's sad because this company has been around for so long, and I don't want to see Joann go the way of the dinosaur, which is extinct. It's a sad situation here. Will Joann employees... Oh, wait. Thanks, Manx Cat. I thought that was the case. Will Joann employees stay after the pay cuts and now Chapter 11? I'm guessing a lot of them, if they haven't jumped ship already, a lot of them are probably going to be looking for some new employment situations, if they have not already. Just judging by the chit-chat I see on the Joann subreddit. So... it is what it is. All right, guys, we've been going strong for 2 hours now. We've been hanging out. I'm probably going to sign off pretty soon because I need to get something to eat. But I do want to give a shout out to tonight's live stream sponsor, the Sewing Report Etsy shop. All of the fabric and supplies are personally curated and selected by me, and they are used a lot on the main Sewing Report channel. Fabric bundles are on sale. You can get sewing supplies and also a few handmade items as well. You guys have been awesome, and I greatly appreciate everyone that has shopped with me. You can check it out at sewingreport.etsy.com. And if you did enjoy the stream, I would greatly appreciate just a couple things. I would like to ask of everyone, if you find value in this, hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to Sewing Report Live if you have not already. And if you do want to support independent media where I'm free to talk about whatever I want without any restrictions, a couple ways you can support Sewing Report Live is, again, leaving a super chat or a super sticker. You can also shop the Sewing Report Etsy shop at sewingreport.etsy.com, or you can also support one of my partners or affiliate links down below in the description box. You will also find links to all of the resources I have attributed during this show down in the description box. I appreciate everyone watching and keeping up everything that's going on with Joann Fabrics. I'm going to be signing off pretty soon to get some dinner and hang out, but I hope everyone's having a great start to the week. I was not expecting to do this, but the news keeps dropping on Mondays, so I know it's kind of quick, but I want to keep everyone updated with everything that's happening, and that's what's happening. So I greatly appreciate everyone tuning in for Sewing Report Live. Again, I'm your host, Jen, I appreciate everyone watching. I'll catch you guys again in the next one. And remember, whatever you're doing, make it fun.